you guys this week have been hearing all about how great it is to discover new things and how it's wonderful to learn new things and to build up wisdom. And one of the ways we can do that is through science. We are going to do some discovering of our own. So we're going to find out how by just using some simple equipment like some water, some food colouring, some sugar and a jam jar, how we can make this really cool effect. Can you see? We've got all these different layers of colour, and did you know that's just been made with the food colouring, the water and the sugar? Now you might be asking, how did that happen? Well, keep watching and we'll perform a scientific experiment, and you can follow along later after you've watched it to do this yourself. And we'll be discovering how this happens. What's the science behind it? I'm going to tell you what you need to create. Things that you are going to need to complete this experiment. You will need a tablespoon, 3 different colours of food colouring. I've used gel food colouring, but you could probably use any type. Empty, transparent or clear container. I've chosen to use an empty jam jar. You're going to need lots and lots of sugar, but it's not to eat, so very sorry kids. And you are also going to need 3 small bowls. Into your 3 small bowls, you need to measure out, using your tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of sugar and place into one of your containers. You will need to measure out 4 tablespoons of sugar and put them into another one of your containers. And you will need 6 tablespoons of sugar and place it into the last of your containers. You are also going to need to be using some hot but not boiling water. And for this, you must make sure that you ask an adult before you pour the water. We don't need boiling water, we just need kind of hot water from the tap. I'm going to tell you what you need to do to carry out this experiment. Next, you need to put 3 drops of food colouring into each of your containers. I'm going to choose to put red in my first one, yellow in my second one, and blue in my third one. But you can put whatever colours you have in there. Just make sure that they're different colours in each one. If you put your food colouring into your bowls of sugar, you are going to need to measure out 2 tablespoons of water, and you are going to need to put 2 tablespoons into each of those containers. Put your water in with your sugar. You need to stir it really well until all your food colouring and all of your sugar have dissolved. We're going to start the fun stacking. So take your jar, and what you need to do is you need to very carefully pour in the sugar and water solution from your 6 tablespoons of sugar. So pour it in. It's nice and gloopy. There you go. So now we're going to very carefully, very slowly pour the sugar and water solution from the bowl that has the 4 tablespoons of sugar. But we're going to do it in a special way. Now, if you remember the tablespoon that we had earlier, we're going to place it carefully into the jar on an angle like that. And this is to help us slow down the speed of this sugar and water solution. So we're going to very slowly and carefully pour it into the jar, down the back of the... So here we go. Oh, missed it. There you go. Oh. If it misses a bit of the spoon, it's okay, as long as you pour it as slowly as you can. And there you go. And let's take a look to see what's happened. Wow! Can you see? The blue sugar water solution is on the bottom, but the yellow sugar and water solution is It's on top. It's stacked. That's amazing. Wow. Okay, so let's do the final one now. I'm going to take my final container with the sugar and the water, with the 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm going to very, very carefully pour that over. Remember, slow as you can. It's very hard to pour around film. Pour it all out. Okay, let's take a look. Wow, that's so cool. The sugar and water from the red container is stacked on top. Wow. Now, there is actually a scientific reason why this has happened. It's all to do with a scientific word called density. Now, every liquid has got a different density. And whatever its density means, it basically determines whether that liquid will sink to the bottom or if it will float on the top. Now, I wonder which of those mixtures was the densest. Which one was on the bottom? Well, of course, as you can see, it was the one that had the 6 tablespoons of sugar. So the more sugar that was put the more sugar that was added with the water, the denser that liquid has become, and as you can see, it's sunk. Now, I bet there are some really great scientists among you. I wonder, what do you think might happen if you made up another solution with 2 tablespoons of water, but this time you only put 1 tablespoon of sugar in? Do you think it would sink, or do you think it would float on the top? Or what if you just got some water and put another different colour of food colouring in? Do you think that would float or sink? Well, scientists, it's over to you now. If you want to carry on experimenting, you can. But I really hope that you've enjoyed this experiment this week, and I hope it encourages you to keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep discovering this week. So thanks for listening, and see you next week.
It's a wonderful, 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 wonderful world.